So I'm your girl Oluchi Okonkwo, and following my last post, I talked about sharing my first CV and also talking about my very first job as a medical laboratory technician. This all started one day while I was job hunting. It wasn't really prepared for. I didn't really prepare to look for a job that day. I was just walking past an organization and I saw this big billboard about it being a medical laboratory diagnostic center. So I walked in and spoke to the receptionist politely, of course, and she said she didn't really know if they needed staff at the moment, so I should talk to the manager. So I went ahead to talk to the manager, and he was like, "Do you have your CV by any chance at the moment?" And thankfully, you should always have your CV saved on your Google Drive if you're using an Android phone or iOS, whatever. Just have it in cloud so you'll be able to bring it out anytime when it is required. So I had my CV on my Google Drive. I quickly went out, printed it out, and I wrote an application letter immediately at the cyber cafe there. I submitted it. He was like, "Okay, great. Can we, by chance, run an interview on the spot?" I was like, "An interview right now?" Yeah, he was like, "A practical interview. Can you do that at the moment?" I was tempted to decline, but then I said, "Well, what am I going to lose anyway? It's not if I'm doing anything at the moment. Why would I reschedule? They will think I'm not serious." So there, I ran an interview immediately there. It wasn't really a 100% of 100, like 100 of 100. I didn't really get everything, but I would rate it a 60 of 100. He saw my zeal, I think. I don't know. But he saw, like, I really wanted to do the job. I really wanted to work there. And the zeal in which I answered the question, and the zeal and the way in which I said, "I don't really understand this question. Can you rephrase it?" Or, "I'm so sorry, I don't really understand this question. Can you ask me another question?" And that was how I got the job. Not on the day though. After the job, I knew I flopped like 2 questions or 3 during the interview stage. But then I was positive and I didn't really know. So I didn't really know if they would call me back because of some minor flaws that I had at my interview stage. So one Saturday, while I was accompanying my sister to terminals to get some stuff, someone called me on the phone and I answered the call politely. See, guys, I was trying to avoid the call because there was this person that kept calling me throughout that week, and I kept saying it was the wrong number, and the person kept calling me. So I was planning to just block the number from that spot, but I just felt like, okay, let me just answer this call and see if it's still the same person that's been calling me for the whole week. And he told me that, "Will you be available to come to resume work at the first week of August?" And I resumed work on the 1st of August, I think 2021, as my first professional after school job as a medical laboratory technician at a diagnostic center in Jos. And that was how it went through. I just have to point out that when you are new or when you are coming for an interview, this is just me giving you a pro tip. When you're coming for an interview, whoever you meet, you should be polite with the person. Make sure you are polite because you don't really know if that person is your employer in future, or if the person is even the manager or the chief medical officer there. You don't know, and some of these people just look like random people that I meet every day. So whenever you walk into a place, you should be polite no matter who you meet. I think one of the things that made me get a job or make the man that was my former boss conduct an interview immediately, because I think the demeanor in which I got into that place, and thankfully that day I was dressed decently. Not that I dress indecently or anything, but I wasn't dressed like with a striped jeans or with some sports shoes or with a face cap, but I was just wearing just a plain dress, and it kind of looked as if I was prepared to look for a job that day. It was just providence or grace of God. But my pro tip or pro tip, before I give the main pro tip, is whenever you meet someone you don't know, especially if you're job hunting at an organization, make sure to be polite. I think even outside job hunting, you should be polite when you meet someone for the first time, because those little things could place you in a good position to get the job. You don't even know if that's what made you to get the job. It might not be your skills, because obviously they're actually looking for scientists and technicians before I walked in there and I got the job at the spot. And later, when I got the job, I realized that they have been looking and they have been doing some interviews with other people that are more professional than me. They've been conducting interviews with them, and they didn't employ those people. And I was chosen I was given the employment, not because I was more advanced in my education, or maybe because I did well in my exams or anything, or my transcripts were better than every other person's own. It was simply because I think grace, but also we have a part to play in things working out for us, especially in the way we approach things, our behavior, our character when we come for things like interviews or whatever, generally in life. So that's like my pro tip. So I'll be sharing my CV somewhere around here, and I'll be breaking it down step by step. So for every CV you want to write, please make it clear, make it simple, do not make it colored. I would say do not make it colored because mine is not colored. I never used it. Was my first CV that was colored, but I realized that it was kind of distracting to the person reading it because people just want to glance at your CV and just get the information at once. Use the right fonts, Roman, depends on what you want to use, 12 Roman, whatever. Use the right font, make it bold, make what you want to stand out to be at a glance. Let it be eye-catching. So your first thing that should appear in your CV, every CV, should be your name, boldly written at the top, okay? Don't make your names hidden, make it bold so that whenever the person looks at it, that should be the first thing to catch its eye because everybody will start reading from the top. Your name first should be the first thing, and then your contact address. Nowadays, people are looking for you on social media. So when you have a social media footprint, make sure to add it there, especially your LinkedIn, or if you have a website, put it up there, LinkedIn website, and your email address should look professional. Don't go and put Miss Pretty Girl, whatever, as an email address. Your first name, your last name, your name that someone knows you with. Mine is oluchiokonkwo@gmail.com. Very simple, straightforward. You don't even have to ask me what my name is. From my email address, you can find out what my name is. Your phone number that everybody could reach you from. Don't put your phone number that you used in God knows when and put it there. Use a phone number that you know works and you will likely be able to pick it up, okay? Because I remember I didn't drop my phone number at that man's office. It was from my CV that he got my number to call me, because it was when I went home I remember that I didn't drop my phone number. I was a bit worried because how would they reach me, okay? So I later realized that he sent me an email too. But you see, if I hadn't used a phone number that was reachable and I was likely to see a call from, I wouldn't know when he will call. So that's aside your name, your contact. Then you go straight to your work profile. It depends. My first CV didn't have a work profile. This is where you list your best characteristics, where you put yourself out there, where you talk about yourself. It's just like 4-5 lines, especially for those who are inexperienced, those who are just starting out entry level. You could write something like, well, a driven, focused, and passionate laboratory technician who has an eye for details, who is empathetic towards patients, something that you know will make you stand out from every other person. Actually, this is where you share your own story. Most people use a work profile. If you don't want, you can just go straight to the point. Then you could start with your education. Start with the one that is most recent, okay? Start in descending order. That's from the highest to lowest. Start with your university education if you have one. Start with your diploma. Start with your PhD. Start with your masters. Probably those who have masters and PhD don't really need this video, but I'm talking about those from entry level. You're coming up from the university. Your university should be the first with the dates, the department, and probably what you studied. Yes, not probably, what you studied should be there. It should be written in bold, okay? Bold. If you want to add your CGPA, please do. If you want to add, if you are the 5% of your class, I added that in my CV. I was 5%, top 5% in my class of 250 something students. I was top 5%. I put in my CGPA. That will make it probably stand out or not, but it should be there. And then you should add your work experience, where you've worked before, from the very beginning, from the latest one to the non-recent one. That should be there. And then from your work experience, you should probably add your volunteer activities. If you've ever volunteered for anything, add your volunteer, name of organization, dates, etc. Then you go after that, you go straight to your leadership skills, your activities. I do sports. I put it there because I don't know, it will make you look a little different from every other person who's coming there without any other activity going on in their life apart from education. So I put in sport there. I play games too, Scrabble, chess. I put it there. I have gold medals to prove, so I put it there. I have volunteer activities. I've been volunteering, like half of my life has been a lot of volunteering apart from professional experience in the workplace. I put it there. Organization, time spent there, and so and so. And then if you are proficient in a particular language, I speak French, English, and sign language, Igbo and Hausa, pretty well, I guess. So I put all of them there because some organizations need you to speak a certain language for you to be able to work in that organization. You have to speak a specific language, especially if you live in northern Nigeria. You should have a good knowledge of English and Hausa. If you live in eastern Nigeria, you should have a good knowledge of Igbo and English. So that's it. After there, you can add your references. Please put people who put in good word for you. Don't go and put people that you know that don't like you and you go and put their names there. They'll call them and they'll say something bad about you and you won't get the job. I realized after getting the job that my supervisor, whose name was there, was called a week before I got the job to ask him how my relationship with him was, and he put in a good word for me and I got the job. And it all happened in different instances. So put in professional people. Don't put your family members, I guess, because it's a professional thing. I have never used my family members before, even if I have professional people in my family, my sisters, my cousins and stuff. I put my professional friends or professional colleagues or mentors who I know me in a professional capacity, who anytime they receive a call in so aspect, they will know what to say to put me on the right track to get that job, to get the internship, to get the volunteer experience. So that's the end of your CV. If you have anything more that I think should be there, you should probably tell me, but this is how mine is structured. That's how my recent CV looks like, and that was how my old CV looked like. So one more thing, if you are writing your work experience and you worked as a medical laboratory technician, list out your responsibilities in that place. Make it eye-catching. Use action verbs. Don't use lame words like I followed my supervisor to look at patients in the ward. Use words like I participated in patient assessment. I assisted in diagnosis and report recording. I led 12 candidates in the exam process. I coordinated, I initiated. Use action verbs that will describe what you are saying in one sentence. I learned this from a professional mentor when I'm writing an essay for a particular scholarship program. How to use these words. It's that word you are using should encompass 3 different words that you should use. For example, instead of using longer words to explain a particular situation, find a verb that will just make it one word and use only that verb. I do this because it saves you a lot of time and just gives the reader the idea of what you're talking about. If you don't know what these words are, these action verbs that will make your work more professional, you can just type it on Google. Action words to use when writing a resume. It's so easy. Everything is on Google, guys. It's so easy. I have a list of them on my Google Drive. Especially when I want to write something professional, I just open it and find those action words that will be suitable for what I'm writing. Essay for scholarship, essay for jobs, CV writing, resume writing, cover letter, motivation letter. There are so many action words that will make you stand out and just say the things you want to be said in a shorter and grasping way. So when you're writing work experience, you work as a medical laboratory technician in so place at this time to this time, list out your responsibilities. You worked as a front desk officer, list out your responsibilities. Do not look over any job you have done before in the past as too menial or too maybe unprofessional. If you worked at the church before in a professional capacity, maybe in an organization in church, make sure to add it. Look for words to express yourself in that capacity. If you worked as a volunteer before, if you helped out someone before, put all of those are your work experiences. Nobody was born with a work experience. It is the little things that you do that become your work experience. Okay, don't say okay because I only have experience working in the church, I don't have experience in a professional capacity. That is a professional capacity. Write that job down. Okay, I belong to society in Church Legion of Mary. I serve as a secretary of the Legion of Mary for so years to so year. These are my duties. That is a job. You don't have to be paid for a job before it's a job. Even your volunteer activities, your religious activities, your day-to-day activities could be a job. Even your managerial activities, you've never been a manager before, but you help your mother in the shop to manage her shop. That is a managerial activity. That is where you serve in the capacity of a manager. So all of those are experiences. Okay, when you see people's CV very very long, very wide, they didn't do it from their mother's womb. Okay, one more thing, as a person starting out, your CV resume should not be more than 1 page long. Make it as short as possible, make it eye-catching, and make it as short as possible. Most people will read your CV if it's 1 page long. If it is too long, People's brain tends to black out when things are too long to comprehend, especially when things that are reading are not so interesting. So try to make it to be 1 page long, even if it's more than 1 page, be 1.5. Don't make it to be a whole cover to cover. You're not going to get anywhere with that. Okay, so I'll be linking my CV here, probably for all of you who want to see how it looks like or how I revamped it. I did my CV by myself. I took it to my mentor, my supervisor in school, to help me to edit it. And yes, you need a CV even when you are still a student, because when you are job hunting, you have to make your CV, tailor your CV to the particular job you are looking for. So have a template that you will be able to change at a given time. Have a template that you could able to impute other activities into to fit a particular job role you are looking for. So hopefully this video gives you an insight. If you have any more questions, you could ask. If there's something I didn't touch, tell me. Comment in the section, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting out. Okay, I need you to subscribe. Share this video with people who might need it, especially students living in Nigeria from colleges of education, colleges of health, who do not have access to information, especially when graduating from such schools, unlike those that finish from universities, federal universities, quote unquote. So share this with those people from School of Nursing and the rest. They would need this the most, because we don't really have a lot of information from our staff from the school, especially when we're graduating, or our reach isn't that wide enough. So share this, like, and subscribe to this if you really enjoyed it. Ciao.